You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys in studio. And actually, we have another great guest interview for you guys today. Super excited about this. A lot of you guys have been enjoying the younger Lawntrepreneurs on the podcast and really motivating and inspiring some of you younger guys out there. And I know some of you guys want to be guests on the show. Well, today we have a really special guest. We have Jack and Brad Freeman from Southern Stripes Lawn and Landscape on the show. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Can't wait to hear a little bit more from your story. So welcome to the jungle.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So who do we got online? We got Jack and Brad, right? Both of you guys are there?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. So you guys, so Jack, I think we've got to talk a little bit on social media and on Instagram and whatnot. And maybe can you get these guys up to speed for a quick minute or two about Southern Stripes and who you guys are, where you're from, and what you guys got going on?
All right. So we're Southern Stripes Lawn and Landscape. We're based out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. We started 4 years ago as like just a summer job with us and our neighbors, and then it kind of took off from there. So now we service about 15 weekly clients and offering more landscaping stuff this year. So yeah, anything, Brad? No, that's about it.
That's awesome. And so you guys are twins, right? You guys are brothers?
Yes, sir. We're twins.
That's awesome. How old are you guys?
14.
14. So 14 years old, you guys are lawn care and landscapers, lawntrepreneurs out there, which is just super exciting. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about your guys' equipment, your guys' startup story, and then any fun things that you guys want to share to other guys in your age group. Look, I know a lot of you guys that are listening in, you're 25, you're 30, 35, but you know what? We have a huge audience of the younger group as well, the 12, 14, 18-year-old kids. And it is actually really cool to just see the progress and the success that these guys are having at such a young age. It honestly makes me jealous because I honestly don't know what I was doing at 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, so let's do this. Let's take a quick second here. We're going to hear from our show sponsors, and then we're going to get right back into it.
Do you use fuel in your business? Do you use fuel in your off-road equipment? From lawnmowers to trimmers, blowers, generators, and tractors, if you use fuel in your business for off-road purposes, you are owed a 100% refund of fuel tax. On average, that's about $600 a year for users of Fuel Cred. How do you get your money? That's easy. Fuel Cred is the #1 fuel tax refund app on the market. Just download the mobile app. Connect a credit card and Fuel Cred does the rest. It automatically logs your fuel transactions, finds the cheapest fuel based on your fuel habits, and automates your fuel tax refund. Download the free Fuel Cred app, get your fuel tax refund, and save up to 40% on fuel today.
All right, good deal. Well, thank you so much to Marty for bringing in all the show sponsors, all the announcements, and keeping us up to date as things grow and go on with the show, which, by the way, comes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And also, thank you so much to all of you guys that have been leaving those 5-star ratings and reviews. We really, really appreciate that. So let's go back to Jack. If you want to maybe give these guys the origin story, how did you and Brad get started cutting grass? Because that's pretty cool.
All right, so we moved into our new neighborhood 5 years ago. But we moved in right at the beginning of the school year. So we got to know our neighbors pretty well over that year. And then about that June, which was like 4 years ago, we were like, let's just start mowing grass. We can do our yard, our neighbor's yard. So we just printed out a whole bunch of flyers. We were called the Mow Bros because it was 5 of us, my little brother, me, Brad, and our 2 neighbors. And we just used push mowers. And my dad had a backpack loader and ended up getting a lawn tractor. So we just started advertising the neighborhood, picked up 1 client that year, and we're like, let's just start doing this. But about a month in, our neighbors dropped out. They didn't enjoy it. They still come work for us every now and then, but it's just me and Brad. And after that month, we pretty much took over the business, and it started becoming ours. And then next year, we really started growing. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Brad, were you there with your brother the whole time, or was it his thing, or both you guys at the same time came up with this idea for Southern Stripes?
So we were at our neighbor's house in June, and we came up with the idea together. Like, we just need to make some money. We're little 10-year-olds. We're pretty broke. So
sure.
Like, we just need to make some money. So we came up with the idea, and then it kind of blew up from there, and we started getting customers. So
That's awesome, man. What were you guys thinking at 10 years old? What, most kids at 10 years old, you guys are playing Call of Duty and, learning Fortnite dances, man. So what were you guys, what were you making the money for?
Oh, we were just trying to save up. We had bought a paddle boat from like gift cards, Academy gift cards, and we just kind of always like got to save up to buy something big. And then we ended up saving up, and Brad started watching Top Notch Lawn Care on YouTube.
Okay.
And was like, these Walker mowers are pretty sweet. And it happened in my 5th grade class that like one of my friends, my good buddy's dad was selling one. So we ended up getting our hands on that. And then, yeah.
Wow. No
so
kids.
Saved up for that.
How did you guys find Lawn Care YouTube? Were you just Brad? Were you like trying to find better ways to cut grass, or were you just scrolling around on YouTube, or how'd that work out?
I've always kind of been interested in like lawn care because like we used to have pictures like when we dressed up for Halloween one time as like lawn care professionals when we were like 4. So we've always kind of been into it. We just couldn't really start a company when we were 4. So I've always been watching the videos, and then like once we started the company, I started watching more and more people. And Top Notch was big back then,
yep.
And I saw he used walkers. And then like once the opportunity came up to get a walker, then it kind of just took over.
Wow. So do you guys use a lot of walker down in South Carolina, or is that just the brand that you guys have access to, or what's your thoughts there?
There's a lot of walker mowers down here. I'd say like 1 out of 2 lawn care trucks you see have a walker on it.
Okay.
So
okay.
There's a lot of walkers.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Well, let me ask you this: if you guys are 14 years old, I mean, what's some lessons that you guys have learned along the way? I mean, how many customers do you guys have, and how's the business going for you guys so far?
So we've definitely learned like marketing from Trifecta Lawn Care. We went down there and shadowed him, and then just working hard. Like you got to work for what you have. I know a lot of kids in our grade are like, my parents are giving me an allowance of $100 a week or $100 a month, $100 a week, depends on the parents. And I'm just like, y'all need to actually go out and work, because you're going to get to the point where they're not going to give you that anymore. And then you're going to be stuck not having a job or anything like that. So
yeah,
working hard is the biggest thing.
That's awesome, man. Do you guys ever feel like you guys are missing out, hanging out with friends or anything like that? I mean, how many lawns are you guys cutting right now?
So we cut 16 yards, and we can do it in 2 days. So we usually cut Friday and Saturday, especially during quarantine. Yeah, we have time to hang out with friends, especially now because it's kind of slowing down. So Bermuda's not growing quite as fast, and it's starting to get overseeding time. So fescue is getting overseeded. So we're definitely making time for friends, and we still socialize.
Yeah. What's driving you guys right now? Okay, so you guys started at 10, and you guys wanted to buy the paddleboard boat, and just have some fun toys. What's motivating you guys right now at 14? Are priorities changing? Are you guys looking at trucks and cars here in the next year or two with driving and all that, or where are you guys at next?
So our biggest goal is to be able to do this for the rest of our lives. So like we want to be able to by senior year, which is in 4 years, because we're freshmen. Our biggest goal is to be able to like have a crew running and be able to be a little bit more hands off of the company. So like we're not mowing in the field quite as much. So that's the biggest goal. And then obviously like trucks and toys and boats and stuff, like it's kind of setting it like we want those things too. So that's like our biggest goal.
That's
like,
yeah, go ahead.
It's just like looking into the future and knowing what we want, what we're going to need. So.
Yeah. Do you guys are any of your friends like work for you guys? Are you guys like the lawn care kids at school? And like, I mean, you guys got to have a couple bucks in your pocket, $100, $200 all the time, to your name. And so are you guys like the rich kids, like to your friends, or how does that all work? I'm just curious.
I mean, most of our friends know we have the business and know like we have some type of money, but I mean, we had some friends work for us last year, especially doing like a saw job. Couple mulch jobs. We had friends come work for us when we couldn't have like my dad or my little brother, someone come help us. But I mean, most of them, like I paid them how I'd pay a regular employee. I don't treat them as a friend on the job. So
mm-hmm.
I mean, they take it as serious as we do. So I trust them to come work for us. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. Good for you guys. I'm really, really excited. What do you guys think that you're learning the most right now? I'm not sure which one of you guys were talking, because you guys are twins. You sound the same. You know what I mean? But what you guys said you were learning about like marketing and business, and some of your friends you think aren't having these same opportunities to learn about hard work and hustle. So what's some of the stuff that you guys have learned running your own business for about the last 4 years?
I've learned that like the extra hours will pay themselves off. Like I stay up late doing invoices, but I know that those invoices will help us to lead to our next paycheck. So like just like keeping motivated and then obviously saving money, which we didn't do very good at the beginning of business, but now we've started to realize that we got to save our money to reach the goals that we want to reach. So that's one of the biggest ones that we preach to people that ask us questions. And starting a lawn care company, just save your money, pay cash for everything until you need something that you can't pay cash for.
That's awesome, dude. That's really, really cool. You guys are just full of energy, man. You guys excited?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You guys are awesome. What do you think is some takeaways from running the business the last few years? Like if somebody's like 10, 12, 15, 18 years old and they wanted to start a lawn and landscape company, what kind of encouraging words would you give them?
I definitely tell them just to work for it. Like, we know that you're going to start off with probably a push mower or some type of like lawn tractor, a handheld blower, all that. And people ask us all the time, like, how'd you get this equipment? Like, I'm sure your parents paid for it. Yeah, our parents helped us with some of that. But we've paid it back pretty much everything we own except the truck, and we're financing the Skag. So everything else is cash, is ours. So a lot of people ask us, like, hey, do you think I should buy this? I'm like, no, we made the mistake of buying that walker so early, and then we ended up buying the Skag really early, and we didn't really have the money to do that. So I just tell people, like, save your money and then work your butt off for it. Like, it's not going to just be handed to you. You got to work for it.
That's awesome, dude. You guys are like Lawntrepreneurs, like through and through, man. It's exciting to hear you guys kicking butt. Where did you guys were you always this excited and passionate about the lawn care and landscaping industry, or was it some of the social media like Instagram and the YouTubers that got you really excited? Because I know you guys have made a bunch of friends everywhere you go. So what was it, just like a hobby that turned into a passion, or how does that all work?
So we've, like, as I said, we've dressed up as like lawn care professionals for Halloween, and
that's cool.
We've always kind of had, like, we loved working outdoors. We always loved being outdoors. So like when the opportunity arose, it just like made sense for us to start a company. And then watching YouTube and social media made us like it even more and more. And then just realizing that, like, look what I've done, like finishing a job, like a mulch job, and be like, hey, look, I did that job. That was me and Dad. We did that.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Who's some of you guys' inspirations that you guys were watching on YouTube? I think, Brad, you were saying that you were watching these guys back in the day, right?
Yes, sir. So we watched Top Notch Lawn Care a lot back then, especially you. When you started getting big, we started watching you a lot. Spencer's Lawn Care now is getting big. And then like Blake Hawthorne, Trifecta Lawn Care, some of the smaller guys we like watch, especially like the bigger companies, because that's kind of like what we want to be one day. So we like watching the bigger companies grow and learning about how they run their company. So yeah, that really helps us.
That's awesome, man. Hey, I got a question. The elephant in the room, right? Like, what do your parents think about you guys? Like, do they even know you're on the podcast right now? Like, let's
Yeah, they know we're on the podcast. I told them that we were doing this last night, I guess.
Okay.
So
probably should have asked that first.
They're cool with it, yeah.
Yeah. What do they think about you guys, man? Do they think you guys are like little hustlers, or do they think you guys are crazy?
I mean, they respect it that, like, we're working hard, because they're both assistant principals at high schools. So they see kids like just getting handed money from their parents and like don't have a job, and then after high school they realize, like, oh crap, I don't have anything saved up. Like, how am I supposed to pay for college? All that stuff, like a vehicle. So they like really respect it and encourage us to keep going. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, like if you're not learning how to work hard and work for your money and have those values of hard work and work ethic, frankly, I see it in 30-year-olds, man. You know, you guys are 14 and you got that hustle and that drive, and I just see 25-year-old kids, man, that get out of college and they're just confused. They have no work ethic. You know, mommy and daddy bought them a Jeep, and you know they haven't had to work for anything. You know, and you guys are at 14 years old buying lawnmowers for 10 grand or whatever. And it's really, really cool. You know what? One thing I saw, I was cruising through you guys' Instagram a second ago, is that you guys came all the way to GIE Expo at least once, maybe a couple times now. So what was your experience going to GIE Expo? What made you guys go to that? Because that's not where all 14-year-olds are going right now. You know what I'm saying?
So we saw last year was our first year, and we did some research on it, and we realized that it was something we wanted to do, especially for like the booths and stuff. Like, we wanted to look at more equipment, and we didn't really have the opportunity around here. because there's not any like trade shows like that near us.
Okay.
So we decided that we were gonna make the trip, and me and Jack paid for it. And my dad came with us, and it actually happened to be the same weekend as the Clemson-Louisville game in Louisville, which is Clemson's like our college team. So we stayed and watched that on Saturday. So it kind of all worked out.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I heard they have a really good baseball team. So, but I'm just kidding. It's football. So I'm not that bad. Give me a break. You know what I'm saying? That's funny right there. But how did you guys tell your parents or ask your parents to allow you to go to GIE Expo? Like, how did you sell those guys going down? Imagine somebody's 10, 12, 14 years old, right? And they love lawnmowers. They got a push mower and they got 5 accounts. How do they get their parents to take them to something that cool?
So then we were like 12, and we started watching videos on it. We saw your video pop up, and we're like, this is really cool because we watched it from the year before. I guess that was the 2018. And we're like, this thing would be like really cool to go to. And we're like, they're not going to let us go. Like, this is just like a dream. Like, we're going to have to wait till we can drive before they'll ever let us go.
Sure.
But we started trying to convince them in like December of, I guess, 2018, and that carried over to 2019. And so we were just like kept pushing them like, hey, we should, like, can we go to this? And my dad is finally like, yeah, the district just gave us where we can take 4 personal days. So y'all go ahead and book a hotel and we can go to it. And we were just like shocked that they let us go.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's awesome, man. What was your guys' favorite part of the show? I mean, for some of you guys that don't know, GIE Plus Expo is kind of like our Super Bowl, if you will, for like trade shows. And so there's like 20,000 people that go to this thing. It's down in Louisville, Kentucky. Unfortunately, of course, it was postponed this year because of the pandemic and COVID and all that, stuff, which, is probably a smart move for those guys optics wise. It's political season and then health pandemic. Probably not the best time to have a huge trade show. But you guys went last year, and what was your guys' experience? Were you guys blown away? Were you underwhelmed, overwhelmed?
We were a little bit overwhelmed walking into it. It's huge. But we really enjoyed meeting a bunch of people that we've seen over social media. You, Blake Hawthorne, Ross Lawn Care, C&I Services. We enjoyed meeting those people there, and Sean, I guess, too. But like just being able to see them and talk to them because they're not just on your screen of your phone. And then we had people recognize us like Gun Landscaping.
Yeah.
He was like, I recognize your logo, and we are like, oh, that's cool. Like, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's really, really cool. Did you guys get to anybody like really impress you, or like somebody that was really cool, somebody that stands out that you guys enjoyed meeting besides myself, obviously? So
we enjoyed talking to Ross Lawn Care, Brandon.
Yep. Great kid.
He's crushing it right now. Especially because he's about our age. So that was great to talk to somebody that was our age doing the same thing we were and being successful at it. So
yeah. He's a stud, man. He actually bought the whole ball of wax, and he shot me a DM. He said, hey, dude, I'm making a huge investment into my future. I'm buying the whole ball of wax. I said, well, I mean, it's for people that are a little bit older, man. They have a business. They want to go all in. I'm not trying to market anything that we're doing to 13 to 18-year-old kids, right? Even though I know a lot of you guys watch. And he goes, nope, I've already talked to my mom. My mom's an accountant. She's like helps him with his paperwork and the books. His mom was on board, said like, no, this is going to be a great investment into your future. And so Brandon and we had a coaching call about a week ago because he wanted to redeem it from the whole ball of wax bundle. And dude, he's a young stud. He is kicking butt and taking names like nobody right now. And I was just so excited about him. He's like buying trucks. He's looking to buy another mower next year. And absolutely, man, it's just exciting to see that, like, I'm always thinking, hey, like we don't want to, try to market to kids. It's not really my brand, but I know a lot of you guys are 12, 15, 18, 20. And I want to get these you kids up to speed, because when I was 10, 12, 14 years old, I was like the lawn care kid, little push mower. Nobody believed in me. Nobody encouraged me. In fact, people like made fun of me, and even my own mom was like, hey, you need to go get a real job. And I was like, well, I can be a lawn care professional. And she's like, go get a real job. So I worked at Little Caesars for 4 years, and that was fine. But then I had a couple career changes, and I was 20 years old. And I'm like, man, I want to make a go of this dream I had to build this lawn care company, right? And I just see guys at your age, 12, 14, 15, 18 years old. My biggest thing is like encourage you guys. Like, do your parents encourage you guys? Do they get behind you guys? Are they just saying, hey, this is a fun thing to do until you go get a real job? Or do you guys ever have those kind of conversations back at home?
So my dad is like, both my parents are all aboard on the idea of us growing a big company. My dad keeps saying he has 10 more years before he can retire. And if we're as big as we say we want to be, he's going to come work for us. And my mom would like to do something similar.
Yeah.
My dad's he was in the grading field, construction grading.
Okay.
Before he got into education. So he's always kind of had a part of this, and he has like a CDL. So he can drive trucks and all that for us.
Yeah.
So that would be a big help. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, have a big family business, right? So if they're retired and they got their pension or whatever, then are they like big grades in school and college type people? Have they had those conversations with you guys? Are they like more entrepreneurial? Like how does that have those conversations back in your guys' household?
So they're big on grades. We're both in like all honors classes with straight A's. I think we're pretty good students, I'd say.
Awesome.
And but they like the whole college idea. I have a buddy that actually just went to community college near us. It's called Spartanburg Community College, and they have a big landscaping program, and it's like a lot cheaper than Clemson, which is where we originally wanted to go for like some big degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realized it might not be worth it as much because we can still stay here. And the community college is only like 30 minutes from us. So you can still stay here and work and make money and like not have any college debt or anything. So
I was gonna say why not go to Clemson and why go to a community college? Is it just because of the debt? You think?
It's because debt, and I mean it's the same degree in either way, and it's also about 30 minutes closer. And yeah, just the debt mainly.
That's so good. I'm smiling ear to ear right now. Like, I do take a little bit of enjoyment, like programming the youth to help you guys understand that, like, maybe college isn't for everybody. Not because college is bad, but because you don't need to come out of school with $80,000 in debt. With a receipt piece of paper that says you know how to follow orders. And I say it just like that. I think you guys are incredibly smart beyond your years. And kudos to your parents, too, for encouraging you guys to grow your business, grow your hustle, and not talk you out of it. There's no telling where you guys are going to be just 4 years from now. I think the biggest bottleneck you guys have right now is probably your wheels, right? So if you guys follow on Instagram, you got some great equipment. How do you guys get around? Everybody's going to wonder that question. How do you guys get around and take care of all your customers? Do you guys drive? Do you have your permits? Does your dad help you out? How does that all work?
So we can get our permit in 6 months from now. But my dad right now, with all his virtual school, like e-learning, all that, the whole county has Fridays off. So him being an assistant principal, he doesn't have to go in on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do our work in the morning because Friday is a short day for us. So we can get our work done in the morning and then go do about half our yards then, and then just have a couple to do in the neighborhood on Saturdays, and then just spend the rest of our Saturday watching football games. So
nice. There you go. Right. Yeah. Football, right? Because Clemson's football, right? Not baseball, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. Does your dad help you, or does he just sit in the car, or how does that work?
He runs the weed eater, and now that we have 2 walkers, he'll also run a walker on some of our bigger properties.
Yeah. There you go. Do you pay him hourly? Does dad just do it for free, or how do you pay the parents?
He's doing it for free right now, but I think he wants some money, like a truck or something in the future. But he said that he'll worry about that when we get there. So.
There you go. You guys are his 401k, right? So you guys, you can retire your dad later in life, right? Amen. So that's awesome. Yeah. Well, what's any takeaways you want to leave these guys? Because I think you guys are both incredibly smart, incredibly sharp. I've had to have a bunch of conversations with you guys on Instagram, and also meet you guys at GIE. You guys are both butt kickers, and I'm just really, really proud of you guys and what you're doing at such a young age. I think you guys are a great example for us to point to and say, hey, if you're 10, 12, 14 years old, age is just a number. And I think owning your own business at such a young age is going to teach you so many life lessons with what you guys were just saying. It's not about necessarily making money at that age. You got to still be a kid, still have fun, still go do stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Don't get into big trouble. You know what I'm saying? But have fun. But you guys are learning a lot of valuable lessons of hard work and the value of earning a dollar bill and having a company and how do I track things and have marketing and payroll and all these different things that are going to pay huge dividends for you guys in your 20s and 30s. So any takeaways from running the business the last few years that you guys want to pass on to our audience while we got you?
I mean, I was just going to say work hard. And I know we have a group chat called Team Lawntrepreneurs from kids across the country doing this. So we reach out to them, help them out. They help out us out in business. So I would say if you're a teen and interested in that, shoot us a DM, and we can see if we can get you in that. So.
There you go. Brad, or was that Brad? One of you guys.
That was Jack. Yeah.
Okay, Brad, what's your takeaway? Any last nuggets?
Save your money, do your research on especially marketing. I have a lot of questions about that. How we get our customers, and then do quality work. Quality will help you get customers. Quality over quantity, you all know what I'm saying. So, yeah.
You guys are butt kickers, man. I love it. Okay, well, where can people find you if they want to learn a little bit more about Southern Stripes Lawn and Landscape? Where can they find you guys?
So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And yeah, I think the Instagram is Southern.Stripes, and then Facebook and YouTube are Southern Stripes Lawn and Landscapes.
That's awesome, man. I love it. Where do you guys? So what's the dream setup, man? Last thing I'll ask you. What's the dream? If you had the best truck, the best mower, you guys are priority shopping for all this stuff right now. What's the dream setup for your main rig, your main crew in the next 2-3 years?
So in the next 2 to 3 years, by the end of high school, I'll just say by the end of high school, which is 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we would like a Zizu type open body running with a full crew going every day or 4 days a week, cutting those lawns. I'd have my truck with an enclosed trailer to do some mowing if I have to, and then Brad have his truck with the open trailer doing hardscaping, landscaping, all that.
There you go. I like it, man. What's the dream? What are you guys working so hard for in the future? Do you guys want nice cars, a boat, a big truck, a big house? What's the big what's the motivation for you guys?
Nice new trucks, some boats, and then like houses and like a successful family and staying out of debt would be the main goal.
Awesome, man. That's good stuff. Well, I think you guys can do it. It's so exciting to see you guys grow the last 2-3 years, both grow in business and then grow taller. Every time I see you guys, you're about 6 inches taller. So, which is really exciting phase for you guys. And it's pretty cool. So, all right. Well, hey, anything else you want to give our audience? But if not, we'll button this thing up.
I think we're good.
Awesome, man. All right, guys. Well, we got Jack and Brad Freeman here from Southern Stripes Lawn and Landscape down there in Simpsonville, South Carolina. 14-year-old lawntrepreneurs taking over the world. So, guys, thanks so much for joining us on the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. We appreciate the time.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode of Fullerton Unfiltered. We'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Do you use fuel in your business? Do you use fuel in your off-road equipment? From lawnmowers to trimmers, blowers, generators, and tractors, if you use fuel in your business for off-road purposes, you are owed a 100% refund of fuel tax. On average, that's about $600 a year for users of Fuel Cred. How do you get your money? That's easy. Fuel Cred is the #1 fuel tax refund app on the market. Just download the mobile app. Connect a credit card and Fuel Cred does the rest. It automatically logs your fuel transactions, finds the cheapest fuel based on your fuel habits, and automates your fuel tax refund. Download the free Fuel Cred app, get your fuel tax refund, and save up to 40% on fuel today.
Are you ready for GIE Plus Expo?
What?
Yes, GIE Plus Expo is coming to you now. It's GIEExpo2go.com, your new online connection to hundreds of new products, industry resources, and solutions to help you grow your business. GIE Expo to Go is packed with your favorite exhibitors' latest innovations, demo videos, event links, and more. Plus, you can set up your own My2Go show planner to gain exclusive access to show specials and discounts. Test Jet is all free. So what are you waiting for? Go to GIEExpo2go.com and start exploring today.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.